Hi everybody, Amy here from Knit Collage. Welcome back to another making vlog. I'm super excited to be here with you today to tell you a little bit about what's been going on behind the scenes, the projects I've finished in the past 2 or 3 weeks, my current whips, which haven't changed a ton since the last video I made, and your questions, and then one tool that I found in the past few weeks that I'm excited to share with you. So let's hop to it. So I was in India for 10 days. I got back a week ago, and I just thought it'd be fun to kick off this episode and tell you a little bit about that trip. So I was there where we make our yarn. Our yarn is spun by 16 women there. We have a small team that just makes our yarn, and I hadn't been in 3 years. So this was my first time since Feb 2020 of actually going back and being with them. And it was really amazing. It was a really powerful trip. And I think that it was so powerful because I hadn't been in so long. So I had almost like a beginner, a fresh take on it, that maybe in the years previously of traveling there every 6 months, I had, it had become more of my day-to-day, more normal, but I was able to look at this with fresh sort of beginner eyes and just be wowed by what we do and what we've achieved there. It's just amazing. So these women just spin our yarn, like I mentioned. It's a long process to make. Most of the skeins are hand carded. So the fiber is carded on this hand crank carding machine that we get from New Zealand. And each skein goes through that process. If a yarn has trims, those trims are created and then threaded or cut into the right lengths that colorway has in its recipe. And then they're spun by one of the hand spinners. And then, of course, they're checked for quality and packed up, put a label on, all that. So it's this immensely time-intensive, beautiful process that I just forgot. It's like I forgot how amazing what we do is. And I forgot the endless possibilities of just leaning into this process. We can achieve so many unique, creative things with our yarn in the process because no one else really does it this way. It is absolutely 100,000% unique and special. So it was amazing. Seeing the women and our team that make the yarn was amazing. It's easy to become disconnected after 3 years. And so just that personal touch of being there, the personal connection of being there and seeing their work, working on new yarns together, hearing their stories more in depth. Each woman has a story about how the work has impacted their lives, was very powerful. And I hope to bring you more behind the scenes and share more of that as I travel there more again. I did create a blog post last week introducing you to the team and what they do. So I'm going to link to that blog post if you're interested to check that out. And I do have more on Instagram. It's just the process behind the scenes and some of the reels I posted while I was there. So you can see the carding, the spinning, the prim, the trim and fiber prep, all that. Yeah, so it was really good. I'm super excited about all the new yarns I worked on. I think it was 50 yarns into work because, the main thing is I'm working on our winter solstice kits and 2 different colorways for that. So that was one big project to work on. That was 24 different yarns. And then I have this new yarn capsule collection I'm working on for fall. That's probably 11 colorways and then a few other things. So there was a lot in the works that I worked on. It was a very busy week. I worked a ton, but it was so amazing and so fulfilling. And it just felt very creative, very fulfilling. It was awesome. So I encourage you to go check out that blog post. Okay, so just before I dive into what I finished, we had a few pattern releases here at Knit Collage that I thought I would show you. This is the Winding Road Cardi. It was a bonus pattern as part of the fall knit along, the fall 2022 knit along. I am wearing the French vanilla and the rose combo. It's a little teeny on me. This is a size 1. I should probably be in a size 2, but I kind of like how shrunken it looks. And it's just really, really cute. It's got a very fitted shoulder, which I like. It gives it a kind of jackety feel. It's knit from the top down, and you do intarsia and cables. So if you are new to those, you would be learning both techniques. So kind of fun. All right, so that's that. I wanted to show you one other colorway. This is the olive green colorway. Can't go wrong with an olive green, right? And these are buttons we sell on our site too. These are Katrinkle buttons that we sell on our site. I love that colorway. So that's that sweater. There is one that is photographed in the pattern listing where the test knitter actually used different main color skeins, different main color colors. So instead of doing just French vanilla, she did a light purple and a dark purple and French vanilla. So it all feels pieced and it looks really cool. So I encourage you to go check that out if you're into even more patchwork feeling or using up your stash. That could be really inspiring to you. It's a really good one. Okay, so the other thing I released maybe 2 weeks ago is this, I better take my clip out, the Sea Love Beanie. So this is one I created for our 2022 winter solstice kits. And it has this wave pattern on it. Yeah, you can see it pretty well. That's good. I've always wanted to do something with a wave color work, and this is it. It's just a free pattern on the site, so I encourage you to go download that. And this is the cowl version. So you get that repeating. Oh, it looks pretty good with my sweater, huh? You get the repeating wave motif, a little other simple colorwork motifs throughout, and then mixed with the main color, which is that French vanilla, same color, in there too. So just big chunks of that also. And just, I think it's a garter stitch stripe. It's very simple. So that is that, a very pretty but simple color work cowl, and those are both free patterns on the website, so encourage you to go check those out. Now, the finished objects, super excited to dive into these because I have quite a few. We had our spring photo shoot for our next knit along last Thursday, so just a few days ago, and I can't take credit for knitting this one. This one was designed by Laurel Gervitz, but I did add embroidery to it. So I added this cross stitch embroidery to it, and I created these, they're like faux buttons, crochet buttons. They look like crochet buttons, but it's actually a snap. So kind of a fun closure we've never done before. I wanted it to just have sort of a quilting vibe. So that's sort of the look I was going for. And Laurel designed this beautiful pattern. It's just easy. We don't have very many raglan patterns in our arsenal here at Knit Collage, so I love having more options. I know some people really love the fit of a raglan sweater as opposed to a circular yoke. So options, options, options. Okay, so I shared these ones a bunch on here. I finished these, the Summer Sweetness tops. These did not take long to finish. This is, I think this is the size 3. And this is the size 1. And these use a bunch of our new yarns that are coming in spring, so stay tuned for those. I also finished 2 more of the updated Bonfire Shawl. I don't think I showed these on the last one I filmed, so I'm going to show them now. I did share one colorway that was tan and peach. This is periwinkle, and it's kind of like a rusty red. So this is that collaboration that I'm working on with Handspun Hope, and it's one of my favorite shawl patterns we've ever done here at Knit Collage, but we're updating the gauge and doing it with new yarns this time around. So I love it. It actually only took me a week to knit because now I've gotten really good at this pattern. I've knit it 3 times. I love the curly Q thing it does here. The drape is just excellent. So I'm very excited about that. And for all of these patterns, some of them will be in the running for our spring knit along. Some of them will be released later in the spring. So just stay tuned. This one fell down, but I do very much so like this colorway. This is the blue-green one. So it uses our daisy chain yarn, our Serenity yarn, and then the Handspun Hope worsted weight yarn, organic worsted weight yarn. And I will do a little drapey demo. It's a good one, a really, really good one. So that's that. Those are the things I finished in the last couple weeks. I have a couple whips to show you, but before I dive into those, I wanted to show you two of my favorite things from the photo shoot. There are so many, and I might do a whole episode on all the designs from the photo shoot, but for now I just wanted to show you two. This one blew my mind. This design is called the Florabunda Shawl by Cheryl Kubat, and this was knit by one of the sample knitters we work with, Paige. And it was inspired by Stevie Nicks, and this actually was something that one of our Creative Knitters members mentioned to me, Donna, when I saw her in Austin, Texas last, I think it was December. She mentioned that she was making a Stevie Nicks inspired shawl that was a big oversized triangle for her daughter, I believe. And I got that shape in my mind. I started Googling Stevie Nicks and oversized shawls, and in fact she did wear a few of them with big long fringe, and they looked a little like this. So lots of different ways to wear this. It's just an incredible statement piece, right? It's gorge, gorge, gorge. Love it, love it, love it. So very, very excited about that. We have a sample in turquoise blue, as well as the ivory with mustard and neon pink. So that's that. Okay, one more to show you, also knit by Paige, is the Happy Hexi Sweater. So this will also be in our Spring Knit Along design survey, inspired by quilting too. And you can see there are these hexagon shapes that are knit separately and that you attach to the sweater later, but they're kind of like cutouts. So it's just a really interesting construction, and I love this colorway with the bubblegum pink. So I wanted to share that one with you, but there are so many good designs for spring. So probably do a deep dive here on all of the options before the survey comes out. Our yarn was actually delayed a month in customs. It got held in customs for no reason at all, except that it was our time to get held in customs and have the whole review and check that everything was in order with our documents. Everything's fine, but it got held for a month. So we are actually not going to kick off our spring knit along until the end of April or early May. So we've got some time, but I definitely will share all of the options for the design survey very soon. So I have one whip to show you that I worked on while I was traveling in India for most of the trip. I only worked on this one. It is the Lazy Cat cardigan, and I'm forgetting the designer, but I'll make sure to put it in the show notes below, in the description below. It's a simple half fisherman rib sweater. And so I know it seems very basic for me, but the idea is that I wear this over more exciting things underneath. I don't have very many basics in my closet, so I like this. This design to serve a specific purpose in my closet. And I bought the book. I have it right here. I can show it up. I bought this book, Knit This. Oh, and it is by, let's see who it's by, Veronica Lindberg Kutobakika. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And I just thought the whole book was really beautiful and I wanted to knit something out of it. So I chose that one and I'm almost done. It's actually been a really fast knit. So I just have one sleeve left and then the neck rib band. So I'm almost there. The yarn is this drops yarn. I'm not 100% sold on it. It has some acrylic in it, I think, or polyester that's just making it feel a little less fluffy and with that halo effect that I kind of wish it had. But when I wet blocked my swatch, it did get fluffier and prettier and softer and had a little more halo. So I feel confident it's going to get a little better with a wet block. We'll see. I will report back on that next time. So that's my only whip right now. I still have the one I showed you earlier. I have yet to rip this out, but I'm planning to redo it in a darker green color. And then my last whip that I haven't even begun thinking about yet is that new sea glass I want to work on. So all of those are on the radar at the same time. This new yarn that I'm working on in India is amazing, and all I want to do is knit with it. It's just totally different than anything we've done. It's really unique and special. So I am getting enough yarn to make a sweater. It would be for fall. So that's also on my plate, and I probably won't have that ready to show you by the next time I see you, but maybe I'll have the yarn at least and swatch I can share with you. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to. So not as much as usual, but a fair amount. In India, I didn't have a ton of time to knit just on those travel days. And to be honest, on those travel days, I was working. I was on my computer. I wasn't doing a lot of knitting. So that's that. All right. So I want to talk about a tool I like and then the questions that come from you. So this is a tool that Laurel gave me on the Knit Collage team. It's called the Lumos Light, and she gave it to me for Christmas or the holidays. I had yet to take it out of its box. I wish I had had this so much on my trip to India, because when you're on a plane and you want to knit, but it's the middle of the night and the plane is dark, you could use this without disturbing people. So I love this. This will come in handy when I'm watching movies with my kids and they want it dark, but I want to knit. Really, really cool. And there's 3 different light colors, which is kind of awesome. So I'm super into this. It's very easy to charge. There's no batteries, which is nice too. So this is the Lumos Light. I am going on vacation next week, and I'm very tempted to take this with me. I think I probably will for plane or otherwise. I think it could be a really nice tool to test run on that trip to Colorado. So that's the tool. Let's head to your questions. Okay. First question. Do you have any pictures of how the women make the yarn? I'd love to see the whole process. Yes. So please head on over to that blog post and my Instagram. And in my Instagram, I would just click on the reels where you see the video and you can see the process. It really is amazing. And if you have specific questions, feel free to reach out. When is the next knit along? They are so fun. That's awesome to hear. So it will be end April at the earliest at this point. So we're looking at kind of a month later than we typically do, which is not ideal, but the shipping gods have told us that it will not be the way we plan and want it to be this time around. And there's absolutely nothing we can do except make the best of it. Okay. What is the pattern called in the upper right-hand corner of the newsletter? It's a long sleeve sweater pattern with a gorgeous mellow yellow colorway. That is the Technicolor Dream Coat Sweater or Technicolor Dream Sweater by Stephen West. I get asked about that one a lot. Will the Kaleidoscope pullover pattern and or kit be available again? I'd love to make one. Yes, I get asked this a lot too. I am happy to hook you up with that individually if you want to send me an email, amy@knitcollage.com, or get me your email address in the comments below. I haven't released it yet, but I plan to this summer. It's on the calendar for this summer. So that's the plan to get that out there. Hi, Amy. For current Creative Knitters members, do you need to sign up again? No, you don't need to sign up again. Hopefully we got that question answered for you already. The hands in the picture in this email are wearing beautiful stackable rings. What are they made of and where can I get them? I think what we are talking about here are the stitch markers that I'm wearing. And these are from Coco Knits and we sell them on our website. I use them as stitch markers, which is why I wear them, because I have easy access to them anytime. Okay, final question. How do you decide what non-knit collage patterns to knit for yourself? Do you choose from the gut or because you want texture or to learn a new technique? What a fabulous question. Thank you so much for that. So You know, it's funny. I think I probably should say it's because I want to learn a new technique. I think most of the time I'm driven by a pattern that just excites me and seems like a lot of fun. And if I learn something new along the way, that's definitely an added bonus. But mostly it's the pattern. If the pattern really speaks to me and there is an element for me to play and make it my own with color placement or using stash in a fun, interesting way, it's usually something like that. Is there a way for me to make it my own? Is there a way for me to have a lot of fun and play with my own creativity? I would say that's what really gets me going. The sea glass sweater is a great example of that. What else? I think the yarn can speak to me a lot. So for this ranunculus, it's really this Busy Peach yarn I got at Vogue Knitting Live. I really want to use it and find the right project for it. And I think the ranunculus will be perfect. So sometimes the yarn can dictate the project. And then sometimes it's like this sweater I just showed you, the Lazy Cat, that is more about filling a hole in my closet and knitting something really different than all the sweaters I own. Most of the sweaters I own are really showstopper statement outfit sweaters, kind of like this. So to have one that's going to plug a hole and work with, I have a lot of embellished tops and printed dresses and things like that. I mean, not a ton, but some. And being able to have an everyday cardigan that goes with all of those feels like it plugs a hole in my wardrobe. So I've never done something like this before. This is the first time, but it's kind of fun to do that. And I did choose a color that I think I'll wear a lot. I really like this oatmeal color. It's my jam. So I guess in a nutshell, that's how I choose. I like to do non-knit collage patterns because it also doesn't feel as much like work for me. So it's a way for me to do the thing I love to do, which is, knitting is my favorite thing in the world to do. I mean, it's just my happy place. So it does feel like a way for me to get to do that, but without it having to be work. When I design patterns, I also have to put on my math hat, my pattern writing hat, and, figure out how I like the fit, all of those details. So it's nice sometimes to just follow someone else's pattern too, right? And not have to do the thinking and all of that. So I hope that answers your questions. I love these questions and I got a bunch. So thank you so much for asking me these, and please keep them coming if you have any more. For anybody interested in how the process works, the India team, I do really want to encourage you to go check out the blog post I wrote. I'll link it right below, and I'll see you back here in about 2 weeks. Okay, bye.